All heck is breaking out in downtown LA right now. Heck, I tell you. But in all seriousness, remember that protest that I reported to you all about earlier in the day that was starting to break out in LA? Well, now that protest has blown up. And I predicted that we would be here. I knew that this was coming. But I thought that maybe it would be a week or two, maybe even a month or so before we got to the point that we're kind of at right now tonight. Because there have been other protests going on throughout the week, but for the most part, these protests have been people standing on the side of the road, waving Mexican flags, cars driving by and honking. And look, I don't agree with these protests. Personally, I think they're stupid. I've explained why in previous videos. I'm sure I'll explain more in videos in the future. But I support and agree with the right to protest. And when you support and agree with the right to protest, it's much like supporting and agreeing with the freedom of speech. Like if you support the freedom of speech, that's not just supporting the speech that you like. That's also supporting the speech that you don't like. That's also supporting people's rights to say things that you don't like and might not want to hear. So when it comes to my, supporting the right to protest, I don't agree with the protest, but I agree with people's right to protest. You get what I'm saying here? But for a while there, like I said, it was like people waving flags on the side of the road, whatever. Well, now it looks like it's starting to get more serious. And as I warned you all in previous videos, it's a matter of time before you start seeing the dynamics and you just start seeing the people that are at these protests totally change. It's obvious that this whole entire movement is going to be hijacked, or however you would want to explain it. I can guarantee you that there's going to be powerful people swooping in, looking to take advantage of all of this raw emotion and take advantage of all of these people who are willing to be out there on the streets protesting. I, wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing this kind of turn into something like we saw with BLM a few years ago. Because you got to remember, folks, Trump is president now. And that means that they're not going to allow us to have a single day of peace. You see, over the past 4 years, when Biden was president, you didn't have billionaires giving people the marching orders to go literally march through the streets and cause chaos. Well, now that Trump's president, the usual bad actors will be behind the scenes pulling the strings. The media is definitely going to ramp this up. What they're looking for, folks, is they're looking for something bad to happen. They're looking for a certain moment. You see, they already got people in the streets. They already got people upset. They're looking for something bad to happen to maybe one of these illegal immigrants, or something bad to happen in the process of someone being arrested. They're looking for something like that to really light the flames and really get this whole, whatever you want to call it, this movement going. And, things happen. It's bound to happen. But I want to go ahead and roll some clips of what's happening in downtown LA right now so you all can see for yourself. And then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Oh, yeah. shit. We're already here. We're already here. You're already making your statement. That's what we want. Don't be throwing shit. Don't be throwing.
Go ahead. As we get to Union Station, we're going to need a lot more resources if you want to keep pushing north.
The most ironic part about all of these protests is the fact that these ICE raids going in and taking out some of these violent, illegal criminals from all over the world, these raids and these deportations, they're actually making these people's communities safer. Like the people who are out here protesting, their communities are safer. They're safer in the streets right now protesting, right? They're safer tonight than they would have been a couple of weeks ago. Because, folks, you got to understand, the gated communities with security officers at the gate, they were safe before the deportations. They're going to be safe now. The rich neighborhoods, they're okay. The rich people are fine. They're safe. The illegal criminals aren't hanging out in their neighborhoods for the most part. They're not living next door to them. They're living next door to the people who are out here protesting. The violent criminals that are being taken off the streets and sent back to wherever the hell they came from, they're being snatched off the same streets, the same roads, the same apartment buildings and complexes where these people live who are protesting. And I'm telling you right now, as someone who covers these type of stories, you can go look at a lot of the young women who have been harmed by some of these illegals, and most of them are Hispanic. You see, it's kind of common sense that, these illegal immigrants, where do you think they're hanging around? Where do you think they're living? They're embedded within the immigrant or migrant community. They're embedded within these communities. And they're making their own communities not as safe, unsafe. When you see these videos of these gangs that are taking over apartment complexes and stuff, who do you think they're extorting? In many cases, they're extorting legal immigrants that came here legally that are working hard trying to earn an honest living. It's the people who are protesting who are affected the most by the people that we're trying to get out of this country. And the fact that they can't put two and two together, the fact that they don't think it's a good idea that, hey, that guy that lived across the street, he's gone now, turned out he got arrested 17 times for touching little kids. They don't think that's a good idea. So it's like people are rooting for their own destruction. They're protesting like, no, please bring all of the violent criminals back. We want them in our community, making us unsafe. Because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be these people that are marching on the streets, who are waving these flags. It's going to be these people who wind up being a victim to one of these illegal criminals that have no business being here. Well, you guys let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.